Hi fellow developers, welcome back to SFDC Panther, and today we are going to learn how we can use web component inside Aura components, and then we'll also see how we can handle web component events in Aura components. As we in our previous tutorial we saw how we can work with the custom events in web components, and as we can use web component inside Aura components, so we'll also see how we can use web components inside VFS with the help of Aura components. So let's go ahead and do the same. So this is the project. What I'm going to do is here I'm going to create one more component. I can just say that I can if we do have contact list demo component that we created earlier. So what we will do, we will use this component inside an Aura component. So let's go ahead and create a lightning component, and we will name it as contact list, and then we use this contact list demo inside Aura component. So how we will use contact list demo inside Aura component? There might be a question in your mind. So as you can see that here we are using like this. See that is the namespace and then hyphen account hyphen title. Here you can see that we are using this particular thing. We are separating each and every word with the help of a hyphen here. So, but here in Aura component, what we need to do is we need to use the same old functionality that we can do. Yeah, and let's say that I'm just putting here h1 tag, and I can say that I'm from LWC, and then here, and this is the closing. Okay, it's h2, and here what we need to do is we just need to type namespace colon and then the name of our web component. So what we need to do is we need to do is contact list and demo. So as you can see that here we are successfully able to save this. If you wanted to push this, we can just go ahead and use push the same into the application, and then we can also create the application. So let's push the code to the source org, and then after pushing the same we will create a lightning application that we can say that contact list demo or anything, or we can say it lightning app, and then we'll use contact list contact list component inside that application, and we'll see if you are able to see the output of contact list. Okay, sorry, oops, what I did, I just opened the org. What we need to do is we need to push the code. So here in the meantime what we can do is we can just go ahead, open the developer console, and then we will create the application here. So this is our developer console, and then after that here go to the file and create a lightning application. Here we will say it as lightning application. We are not going to use dependency as of now. We will use once we are working with the VA-page concept. So here once let's it's getting an error here. What is the error? Okay, it's contact. Now let's try to push the same. Okay, now we should be able to send the code to the source component. Sorry, to the source org. Yeah, here we are successfully able to send that. Now what we can do is we can just use C colon contact list, and then here we can use extends, and then we can extend force colon SLDS. Okay, now if you click on preview, we should be able to see whatever the output is. The output is, I think the output is this. So we should be able to see the contact input and then find contact button. We can also click on this and like to see the console, and then let's try to type A here, and then you can see that the event is fired. And if I click on find account, I'm also able to see the list of account. If I'm clicking that, I'm also able to see the like here I'm able to perform the complete functionality that I'm able to perform here from the web component. So this is how this is very pretty simple to use the lightning web component inside the aura components. And we'll also see how we can handle events from lightning aura components. So let's see what we are going to do is here I'll create one more component that we already have component that we are saying that the name of component is paginator, and that we created. Here we can see that, and inside paginator JS file we are using we are creating two custom events. So what we are going to do is here now we'll just use, like here you can say that let's go ahead first to use this paginator component here. So what we'll do is C colon the same concept, and to use the events we need to concept of the same that we are using here for the web component. So what we'll do on and then next, and then to call the method of controller we need to use the same old function, that is we can say that handle next, and that's it. We can also use on previous, we can say let's copy this event name and we can say that on then previous, and we will save it as handle previous. Okay, now let's go ahead and to the controller of this particular application, and here in the application we can okay we can just create handle next and put the alert here. So we can just say that alert here, and I'm here in the application, and then for the handle previous we can also go ahead and create one more method that we can say and use the same, and we can also put here some other text that is okay, this is because of this. Now save it. Now you can say that the application is automatically being refreshed, and now if I'm clicking on the button previous or next, okay, what I'm getting here is the page you has an occur, you might need to refresh the session play lightning application. What could be the error here? Okay, it should be c dot handle previous. Now after saving the application, the preview page will automatically be refreshed, and we should be able to see the output the desired output. You can see next and previous, and let's also inspect the element here and console this. Okay, now click on previous. You can see that I'm here in our application previous, and if you click on next, I'm here in our application. So this is how we can call we can handle the events of web components inside aura components. And to get the data that we are passing from web components, we need to use the same way that we are using, that is event.details. So let me show you this as well. So what I'm going to do is do here is I'm just going to use new custom event, and then I'm going to pass here, and let's say that detail, and then I'm going to pass as this is test value, and I will use this detail here in our application JS file, and let's say that in the where details I will say event dot detail, and then I will console dot log will say that details comma details. So let's do this, and we'll see if you are able to see whatever we are sending, we are able to get the data from web component to the aura components. So if I click on previous, I'm just getting the alert. I'm not getting anything here in the console because I put the same in next method. So I click on alert, and you can also see, but we are getting here undefined. So let me check once why it's happening here. I will go to here and will check with the help of this. I'm getting details here, and then I will go to the account tile, this one, and we are sending details. Okay, this is the account.id. So let's go to the paginator.js file. It is a detail itself. Okay, this is why we didn't push this particular updated code in our source scratch arc. So let's go ahead and push this particular thing paginator.js file, and then after we will be able to see this particular message, and this is test value. So we are not able to see that because we just make the changes, but we didn't push the code, the updated code to the scratch arc, and that was the main reason behind getting the undefined. In the meanwhile, we can also go ahead, remove the alert messages from here. Oops, this is, and then after we can still push into the arc. So as you all know that Lightning Web Components doesn't support Lightning out, Lightning, the feature of Lightning out. That means we cannot directly use Lightning Web Component inside VF pages, or we cannot use these web component outside our Salesforce environment we wanted to. But with the help of, as we saw that we can use Lightning web component inside Aura components, and we can also handle all the events. So with the help of Aura components, we can use these component inside visual first pages, or we can, if you wanted to, we can use outside our Salesforce environment. So as this code has been successfully pushed, so let's go ahead and once we'll refresh again here so that we can get the updated code here, and after that we'll see if that is working or not. Let's click on next. Still getting undefined value here. Okay, it's event.details, event.detail, we are still here. Let me check, let's check this why it's not working. Okay, so there is a change here. Whenever we are handling the event in component or a component, we need to use get param instead of event.details. And one thing that we need to do is here, let's say that we are sending this value. So what we need to do is we can just go ahead, create a constant variable here. We can say that test message, and then put that thing here, and then we will be using this test message here for sending the purpose. So what we will do is in the event.getParam, we will be using this test message. We are sending this test message. So if we use this test message, and then before testing this, we need to push the source code. We will push this source code to the scratch org, and then using this test message, we should be able to see the message that we are sending from here. So let's wait while this code is pushing. Okay, so we have successfully pushed the code. Paginator has been changed, and now let's go ahead and save this particular file, the controller file of our Lightning application, and now we should be able to see that message here. So click on next. We are still seeing undefined. What is the key here? We are sending test message now. This is a constant, and we are sending detail event.get param. Okay, we'll we can try it by refreshing once, and then we will try. So now let's click on preview here. Test message is the same. If I click on this next, I should be able to see the value instead of undefined. Still getting undefined. Why this is happening? I'm just sending this the static message. This should be available over there. This is on next, and that is also good. I can just try to put this thing over here. In previous there might be something. Okay, what again? Okay, test constant is not available here. Let's try to put this in this method as well. So I can also check here on the next which method we are calling here. We are calling handle next, and that is the handle next only. Okay, and there might not be any confusion. And here in the can also change this, and let me change this right, and then it should be left. Okay, now let's push the code again so that arrows will also be on the right direction as per the name of our buttons. Okay, so we are successfully able to push. Now let's give it a try. I think now we should be able to see this. Otherwise, first we will try here in our lightning web components. Okay, click on next. Okay, I'm still getting. Okay, let's give it a try. The same thing inside previous method. I'm getting the pattern that is test message. On previous, it's also getting undefined. I'll try with get params. And there is a method that is called as get params, which returns the list of all the parameters which we are sending. Then we can just use dot get, and inside that we can use test message, the name of the parameter, and this is what we can try now. It's a test message here, so let's go ahead and test this. And then might be sometimes the get param doesn't work, so we need to work with get params. Okay, details dot get is not a function here, so what we can do is there might be something this. I'm not sure if this is gonna work. We're still getting undefined values here. So what could be the reason? Do I have any other component to show you? Okay, I have here one more component that is called as LWC compose. So let's see what, and then we also have an application that is called as LWC test application. Let's see if I have anything here on the LWC compose. I'm using LWC compose lightning component, and inside that lightning component what I'm using here is, and let's open this as well. I'm using a component that is inside search component, and then we are using that handle on change here in this controller. So we are getting a search key. First let's test this if it is working, and then we will try to use the same concept as like using the component inside the aura component, and then do this. Okay, I'll try to make this test undefined. Still getting undefined. Okay, that's interesting. Undefined, where I'm putting this alert here in this controller. Console.log search key instead of alert, and that will get a better way to test it. Okay, test this again. If I'm trying Amit, I'm actually getting undefined over here. So the same thing is happening here with the same. I don't know why it's not working. I'll show you, like, I'll definitely get back to you on this, why it is not working and how it will work. So the next thing is that what we need to do is we just need to use the lightning web component inside the VA page. So for this, what we will be doing, we will be using the same concept as you can see here. Whatever the concept is, like apex space, and then include lightning that we already discussed, and then I'll also tell you each and everything of this. So for this, first what we need to do is we just need to go ahead and create a new VF page. We can say that new visual force page, and we'll say that LWC VF test, and inside this we can just go ahead and copy paste the code here. So here we are including lightning so that we can get all the dependencies of like CSS and all that with the help of this tag. And then we are creating a division tag where we wanted to show our lightning component that we are creating here, and this is the name of our application. So I'm going to name it as lightning application. This is the same thing that I need to verify. So if I, yep, this is the same thing, and this is the name of our component. So let's say that if you wanted to use lightning contact list here, so we just need to use here contact list. And if you wanted to pass some value to the attributes, we can also do that from here as well, and we can also do that from here as well after it's successfully created the component. So if you wanted to pass the value as well, you can just go ahead and open the component. You can create an attribute and then pass the value to the attribute. So let's do this. Create a component. Oh, sorry. We can just go ahead and we'll create an attribute. You can say that greeting, and then type will be string, and then default will be lightning component, and then use this variable here right after that with the help of value provider, and we will be using this variable here. We can just let's go where we are here in the web page. We can just use the same like this, and then LWC inside web page. So we can just go ahead and pass this value also. So what we are doing is we are using lightning use. Lightning use takes two parameters. Actually, it takes four parameters if you are using the lightning like Salesforce component outside the Salesforce. First is the lightning application. which contains all the dependencies. All the dependencies means it can be custom lightning application or it can be some standard source tags. And then the function callback function. Callback function itself take four attributes, four variables. First is lightning create component, and that is responsible for creating the lightning component with the help of its all attributes. And then the ID of the division tag or ID of the paragraph tag where we wanted to create or where we wanted to place our lightning component, and then its callback function that is responsible for after we created the component and we wanted to manipulate some or we wanted to some pass some data, we wanted to add some event handler, we can do here from the callback function. And then lightning use also uses two more attributes. So one is the session ID of the current of the user which you wanted to use, and then the ID of your community if you want, if you are using your component outside Salesforce environment. So here, as we are using inside the Salesforce environment, we don't need to use pass those attributes here as well. So now let's click on preview and see if you are able to see the lightning web component like inside this visual force page, and also this message on the lightning component. So if there is any error, we can also inspect the element to see the errors, and if not, then we will be able to see the component created over here. I'm not sure what happened here. I can also console.log. We can say that component created successfully. So here it's saved. Now let's refresh this again and we'll see if there is anything error we are not getting that debug here. That means there is something wrong with this. Okay, in the meanwhile, let's switch to the classic, and then after from the classic, we will try to preview this VF page and LWC VF test. Okay, the setup, close this preview form, go to the setup. If this is not working, that means we need to set on some class origin sites as well. What should work? Go to the LWC VF test and we were using preview here to see if there is any error. Okay, here we are not getting anything. Is it a sandbox? I don't know. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's go ahead and create this. Sorry, add a cross version site script like cross. You need to add. Go to the CORS from the security control. Then click on new. We will be adding our platform here. I think it should give an error because we are giving the path here. We don't need to get this forward slash. Now save it, and then we can also add this view thing as well, and we'll try to see the output again. Okay, save it. Now we have added these two uh, cross object resource sharing, and now it should work. Okay, so this is why it's happening, because what we did not do in the lightning application, first we need to make this as a lightning out dependency. So LTNZ colon out app, and we need to implement this interface here, LTNZ colon out app, and then after that we can use, if the lightning application is not implement like extending LTNZ colon out app, then we cannot make that particular application and all the dependencies inside that application available for VFS, and that should do the trick for us. I'm pretty sure now that should do the trick for us. Come on. Okay, you can see component created successfully, and we are able to see that particular component here. I can also see the attribute LWC inside VFS, and if I try a find account, I'll also see each and everything here. If I'm clicking on the event are also working here particular. So this is the way that we can use lightning web component inside aura component. So again, let me walk you through what all the steps that you need to do is. First you need to create a lightning component. Inside that lightning component, we can call that particular web component, or you can call that web component inside the lightning application as well. Then create a lightning application, use that lightning component inside that lightning application, or use the lightning web component inside the lightning application, and then extend LTNZ colon out app interface, out app class to the application. If you wanted to use, let me comment it here. If you wanted to use lightning component inside VPS, then extend this in the at the top of the application, at the top of the Aura application tag. Okay, so as you can see that here we are also using paginator, but I'm not sure if this is gonna work or not. I haven't tested this before, but what we can do is we cannot create this paginator component because this is the web component, this is not the lightning aura component. So if we do this and put the same inside this particular lightning component, contact list lightning component, and then save the both application and component, and then if you'll try to refresh the preview of the visual force page, we should be able to see the same output. We should be able to see the things, the event handled here, the paginator with first previous and next button as well, and the contact list and the account search form and all that. So if you click on okay, there might be we don't have those particular JavaScript controllers here. So what we can do is we can just go ahead and copy the complete code and put inside the controller here. We can just put, yeah, and that's it. After saving this, we can just try to refresh again, and if you click on the button, you will see the alerts as well here. So if you have noticed that first time what it does, it takes some time to load the component. After that, it doesn't take any time to load the component. So if you can see that here you are in the on the undefined thing, because that particular parameters you are not able to get here, and that I'm going to dig into, and we'll get back to you on the next video. And then here, if you wanted to like queue, you don't have any result. We have length 0. Let's say that alpha, like we will be see the alpha dynamics. If I'm selecting, I'm also able to see and the details of that particular account. So this was the complete thing for about today's video, that we learn how we can use LWC inside Aura components, how we can handle the events inside Aura component. One thing that is pending that I'm gonna show you on next video. And then the other thing is that how we can use LWC inside a VA base, or how we can use LWC outside a Salesforce environment with the help of Aura components and lightning out dependency. So I hope you have learned something new. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you.